Hey guys, it's Christian McCaffrey, pro running back. I'm partnering with Abercrombie this season to tell you about their viral denim. All you need to know is denim should fit like this. Abercrombie's athletic fit is a game changer. They're designed for guys with an athlete's build like mine. Just enough room and the perfect stretch. When a jean fits that well, I'm wearing it on repeat. Shop Abercrombie Denim in the app, online, and in store.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Are you feeling more fulfilled now that you're back to work?
On August 15th.
No. I need a vacation.
See the movie that critics are saying is an awesome,
Look at that.
crowd-pleasing, fist-pumping, all-out brawl of a film.
You're right about that.
They're coming after our family. Go fix this.
Oh, my.
Nobody 2. Rated R. Only in theaters August 15th.
Gatorade is the #1 proven electrolyte blend designed to hydrate better than water. So you can lose more sweat and raise your game. Gatorade, is it in you?
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and you can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/@RamsUpPodcast. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined often by my football guru, Ian, along with a bunch of other friends of the show on occasion. Let's get to it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Mark from Rams Up here. Rams are facing off with the Cowboys in that joint practice on Tuesday. By the time you hear this or see this, may already be underway. That's a pretty big deal for the Rams, these joint practices, more so than the preseason games or even a lot of training camp. The number ones versus the number ones, except for Matthew Stafford, of course, maybe a couple of other guys. But that should be really exciting. Cowboys having new leadership there. Hopefully no shenanigans like we've had in years past with the Bengals and with the Cowboys a couple of times. But a very important day for the Rams number ones to get some more care. Hey, what am I going to do this episode? I'm going to get back to my who's pumped, who's pissed, who's perplexed, taking the pulse of fan bases across the National Football League. And this is that time of year where I think every team has something to be excited about. Every fan base has something to be excited about, whether it's just a particular free agent, a rookie, a second-year guy. And there's obviously, usually, something to be sweating bullets about, to be really worried about. Well, Ram fans were fully aware of that. So it's kind of hard this time of year to take the pulse of these fan bases. But I made a run at it, tried to pick some obvious teams and obvious fan bases, how they might be feeling right now. Before we do that, we'll get through some news. And I also wanted to talk about, since it is episode 793, I'll talk about a player who wore number 93. We already talked about Kevin Carter. We talked about Sue, who just retired the other day. How about number 93, Marquise Copeland? And he had a nice little career for the Rams. 6'2", 287-pound undrafted free agent out of the University of Cincinnati, signed with the Rams after the 2019 draft, and was waived, made it onto the practice squad, and then over the next 4 years was on the active roster several times, many times. Actually ended up playing in 26 games in between 2020 and 2023 for the Rams. 9 starts, 1 sack. And, he was a complimentary player, but I imagine Marquise Copeland is sitting in a bar somewhere telling his buddies, I don't even know if he drinks, but hey, look at man, I played with Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Leonard Floyd, Dante Fowler, Ashawn Robinson, and this dude, Aaron Donald. And by the way, check out this Super Bowl ring. So I think Marquise Copeland is hopefully in a really good place, a nice little career. He is my number 93 for the Los Angeles Rams. Let's talk about the Stafford worry meter. And I know I get some pushback from fans, some followers, listeners, viewers that think we worry about this a little too much, but we got to talk about it. I'm sorry. And I just wanted to mention that, he has a history of back issues, right? If we look back to his Detroit days, had 2 instances of broken spinal bones. And a lot of this information, by the way, comes from Dr. Jesse Morris, and this was shared on SB Nation. And he's concerned that for a few reasons. Number one, the Rams are characterizing him as week to week instead of day to day. These broken spinal bones in Detroit, and then he had those back issues in 2022, a spinal cord contusion. And, Dr. Morris points out that the biggest indicator of future injuries is past injuries. So I'm reading this and I'm like, my worry meter's going up. I'm still really optimistic that he's going to be ready for day one. He's going to be ready to go, but we have to be concerned about his long-term availability. And you know what? I'm just going to stop right there because I, like you all probably know by now, I am a cup is half full guy. And I am fully expecting Matthew Stafford to play 17 games this year. Well, enough of that. Let's move on to some news. And I wanted to talk about Isaac Guerendo real quickly, the 49ers running back. I had been talking about him as a guy that's going to lighten the load for Christian McCaffrey. That was in my fantasy football episode, and how Christian McCaffrey's value maybe is a little bit diminished because of Guerendo. And now he leaves practice the other day with an injury. But I actually may have messed up on that. It could be Jordan James, the guy to keep an eye on, the former Oregon running back. He could be scary good, a really good draft pick for the 49ers. Sean McVay, the other day, talking about some of his players. And Poona Ford, the thing he loves about Poona Ford is that he is just so consistent. He said that they went over the tape, his Bills days, his Chargers days, and there's just very few plays where he is not productive. And that's what they love about him. And, his teammates have already been talking about, hey, man, he's not just a run stopper. He is a guy with some twitch that can get after the quarterback. So really good news, really good things to hear coming from Sean McVay. Hey, what else is he going to say? But it does add a little bit more context to what they're expecting from Poona Ford. And Braden Fisk, they're loving what he's showing. McVay talking him up, coming back from that injury, working so hard. And they think this could be a really big year. He will likely surpass expectations, is what I'm reading between the lines here, is what McVay is saying. So, man, feeling really good about a bunch of these defensive linemen here. And Tyler Higbee, McVay talking him up, his willingness to mentor Terrence Ferguson. Apparently, he gave Ferguson a call right after that draft pick and said, dude, I'm going to help you in any way I can to become a great football player. And, he's just the leader of that tight end group. And it's obvious on the sideline, obvious in team meetings, according to McVay, Tyler Higbee. And, not all veterans take that role. Not all veterans embrace it, but I'm not surprised Tyler Higbee is.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks, or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Visit USAA.com/bundle.
Bundle savings are off total premium, not available in all states or in all situations. To qualify, auto policy must be active prior to property policy issue, subject to change. Restrictions apply. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Shh. Hear that? Big waves are calling. Dive into refreshment with Kona Big Wave. tropical flavor, and the taste of aloha in every drop. This summer, don't just listen. Join Kona on the Big Wave Bonfire Tour. More information at konabigwave.com/bigwavemusic. Kona Big Wave, Liquid Aloha. Copyright 2025 Kona Brewing Co., St. Louis, Missouri. Mahalo for enjoying responsibly.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
So let's get to my who's pumped, who's pissed, who's perplexed, taking the pulse of fan bases around the league. And the first fan base that I think is a little bit pumped is the Steelers fan base. And you rewind a couple months and they were in a bit of disarray there. Who's going to be their quarterback? TJ Watt's unhappy. And they figured that all out. It's still going to be a very rocky clubhouse, in my opinion. Some personalities there indeed. But they have to be feeling better with Watt under contract. And apparently Aaron Rodgers is looking really good in camp. I still have my doubts, my concerns about him. But Steeler Nation is probably a little bit more pumped now than they were a couple months ago, for sure. Who else is pumped? How about the Falcons fan base? And for two reasons, I think they're pumped. One, Michael Penix, man. We forget about him. At least I have, and I talked about him the other day in the fantasy football segment. I think he is primed to have a really breakout year. And then the other thing that I would be pumped about is, you look at these draft picks, these top two draft picks, the two edge rushers, Jalen Walker and James Pierce. Jalen Walker may not be a pure edge rusher. Just call him an outside linebacker. And then they bring in Leonard Floyd to mentor him, and Raheem Morris highlighting that, and their staff highlighting how big a deal that is. Much like Tyler Higbee mentoring that tight end group, there is Leonard Floyd. That may be the primary reason he's there. A guy with a Super Bowl ring, tons of experience, class guy, and he's going to mentor these two pass rushers. So I'd be pumped about that if I was a Falcon fan. Who else is pumped? The Titans fan base, the Titans are expected to be very bad. And I think that Titans fan base is probably well aware of that. But they have to be pumped about Cam Ward and watching this dude grow. And they bring in Tyler Lockett, which I think is a pretty big deal. Another team guy, team first guy, with tons of experience, and I'm so glad he's out of the NFC West, by the way. But Cam Ward, his development, they got to be pumped just to watch that. This guy was clearly the best quarterback in the class, and the sky's the limit for him. And it takes some pressure off of him playing for a team that's expected to be bad. Let's just develop this dude, and then we have Tyler Lockett and some other guys too. It's not all about Tyler Lockett, but you could do a lot worse than having a guy like Tyler Lockett helping a rookie quarterback along in his rookie year. The next fan base that I think is pumped is very quietly the Green Bay Packers. Maybe onto something here. Something's cooking in Green Bay. I have a feeling. Christian Watson, by the way, out with that bad injury last year, and they say in camp you could hardly tell that he suffered a serious knee injury, and he is probably going to be brought back slowly, but don't be surprised if he's there week one. Probably not, but they're expecting him to come back. earlier than expected, and then pairing him up with Matthew Golden, who I think is one of the top 2 rookie wide receivers in this class, and one other guy that I think is going to exceed him in production. Talk about here in a second. But Golden and Watson and Jordan Love, just a very steady, a quarterback that's on a steady trajectory, and a defense that always plays well, a good coach. Packers are going to win that division, I think, and I think their fan base is pumped. Of course, the Green Bay Packer fans are kind of like those Cowboys and 49er fans. They're always pumped, whether it's deserved or not. Next up is the Bucks, and this is a team that's won 4 straight NFC titles, 2 of them under Baker Mayfield, and they bring the core back, a really solid roster, the great young running back Bucky Irvings, and then add in Emeka Egbuka. I'm not going to go on and on about him. I did that in the fantasy football segment as well, but this is a team that is very confident and plays good football week in and week out. They come back with their starting quarterback. Their coach comes back. They add another weapon, and they're in a division that is so winnable. And that's probably the number one reason. Maybe the Falcons will give them a run this year, but I'll believe it when I see it. This could be 5 straight divisional titles for the Bucks. Man, I wish we were in the NFC South. Next up is the Patriots, and I would definitely be pumped if I was a Patriots fan. Okay, so you're bringing back Drake May, who had a very, very promising rookie season. Looks like the real deal, franchise quarterback. You bring in the new coach, the ex-Patriot Jared Mayo, and then you have these 2 draft picks, Trayvon Henderson and Kyle Williams, adding electricity to this offense. This is a team that could compete for a playoff spot in a weak division. Aside from the Bills, this whole NFC East is floundering, in my opinion, including the Dolphins. So Patriots fans, I think, are pumped, and they haven't had anything to be pumped for a New York minute, but they should now, in my opinion. And the last team that I have is pumped is the Jags, and this is why I'd be pumped. It's all about Travis Hunter, and I read an article that really shed some a different insight that I hadn't really thought of, and I should have cited this writer, and he was pointing out, and maybe it was a coach, he was pointing out that having Travis Hunter playing both ways, primarily as a wide receiver, but a guy that you can plug in on the defense, it really complicates game planning for other teams. What does it mean when the Jags run Travis Hunter out there? How is he going to be used? And, it's maybe only be special situations. It gives the Jaguars an extra chess piece. And the other thing it does, and this is the part that as many roster prediction shows I have done over the years, having a guy like Travis Hunter improves your roster math, right? It gives you that flexibility to carry one less wide receiver or one less DB because you got Travis Hunter there. And you know that even if he's not a starter on defense, in emergency situations, you can run him out there, maybe keep one less cornerback active on game day because you have Travis Hunter on the roster. It's a really significant advantage for coaches as they're shaping their roster and they're deciding who their active guys are going to be, as 48 active players on game day. So now I don't know if Jags fans really think that through, but just having Travis Hunter on this roster is enough to be pumped about. And hopefully Trevor Lawrence doesn't blow this all up for them and he comes out and has a good year and connects with Travis Hunter. Let's get into the pissed franchises. And I only have one pissed fan base, and that's the Dolphins. I mean, they lost Jalen Ramsey to free agency, and they've already lost 2 starting cornerbacks, Artie Burns and Kader Kohu, probably pronouncing that wrong, season-ending injuries. I just feel like the luster has fallen off this team. The end of their little run was that 0-degree game in Kansas City, I'm afraid. It doesn't look, I mean, they're in a weak division, so maybe they could make a run for a wild card spot, but man, Dolphin fans have to be a little pissed that they feel like they missed this window. All the excitement bringing in the great fast running back Achan, and then the great young coach who's just a whiz kid, much like McVay, and it just hasn't panned out. They got to that game against the Chiefs. That's about the pinnacle of where they've been, and McDaniel might be short for this job if the Dolphins don't do something this year, and I don't think they're going to do anything this year. I really don't. Now, the perplexed franchises, top of the list is the Cowboys, this Micah Parsons deal, and, they probably missed their window of getting him on board. They probably should have done that before the TJ Watt deal and all that went down. So now they're up against it, and he's probably going to end up re-signing, but he's not going to be 100% happy, perhaps. Maybe he's on his way out, but it's just a little bit messy. And Cowboys fans, as delusional as they often are, they have to be perplexed about the direction of this franchise. The coach that they hired can't be excited about that. Jerry Jones and his son managing, or shall I say mismanaging this team. At some point, they're going to go to perplex this fan base, and then it's going to turn to pissed if they fall short again this year. Definitely in a bad place there, up there in Dallas. And then, I was looking through all these different roster battles, and if I'm a Colts fan, I got to be a little bit perplexed watching a quarterback battle between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a little perplexed that we haven't been able to do better than that. Whoever wins that job, there's got to be a better answer for them. Maybe they should have made a run at Kirk Cousins. So we'll see where that goes. Anthony Richardson looks like he has some talent, but that situation last year where he basically checked out of a game, and then Daniel Jones, I've always loved Daniel Jones. I love watching him play, but he's not the answer either, is he? And then the last perplexed fan base is up there in Washington, the Commanders. Now, they had to be really bullish on this team and the chances of going to the Super Bowl. I think it very well could be a Commanders-Rams NFC Championship game, and Jaden Daniels versus Matthew Stafford. I'll be sweating bullets for a week prior to that one. But then everything's shaping up perfectly for the Commanders. And they got this Terry McLaurin deal. Their best receiver, not happy, very similar to the Micah Parsons situation. I guess he's there, and it'll probably end up working out. But still, if I'm a Commanders fan, I'm just like, dudes, get this figured out. Get it figured out fast. We want a happy Terry McLaurin. We want this fixed. Let's stop this trade talk. And I especially don't want them trading him to the 49ers. I already talked about that. I think that would be an ideal destination for him. But Commanders fans leaning on pumped, but a little perplexed due to this McLaurin situation. So that's my updated who's pumped, who's pissed, who's perplexed. And by the way, as a Ram fan, I'm a little perplexed as well. I'm not going to get into it anymore. You know why I'm perplexed. It's a couple guys that we're not sure about being ready on opening day. That's all I'm going to say about that out here from Rams Up.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.